Hey guys, it's Amy here, back again with another video. Now, I've been facing a little bit of writer's block. I know, the shame. But I found something that might actually help. Okay, I don't really have writer's block, but there is an AI out there called Talk to Transformer. Basically what this AI does is that you put in a certain text prompt and then it follows up by what it thinks happens next. So yeah, this is just gonna be an interesting experiment I'm going through. I have selected 10 quotes from my book. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this artificial intelligence write the next part of each of those passages for me. I genuinely have no idea how this is going to go, but we're gonna try it out. This could end up being pretty interesting. Alright, so I've got my first quote up on my screen. This is the opening quote to my book. Technically like the first of 2 opening books because I've got a prologue. This one says, "My mother was rich with stories. They weren't the kind staining paper, placed beneath images or tucked into dog ears. She didn't care for writing them down or for publishing them and gaining a second kind of riches." See what comes next? "No," Mom said. "You have to learn to raise your..." Her voice caught. There were so many lies that she could feel her knees shake beneath her. "I'll learn." Then she grabbed the pasty lump in my arms, moved me from the low table to the high one, and left the room. My eyes rolled to the back of my head and... Why did it just cut off there? That's... oh god, that's a worse ending than the ending of Black Friday. Also, like, this is a very unusual kind of connection here. I mean, I like the whole thing about the lies. I don't know what the pasty lump is in my arms, or Abby's arms in this, considering it's told through her perspective. But that and, why do you exist? Quote number 2, this is the opening to my first chapter, which apparently is where most people first read it, but like, I always read prologues. It's like another chapter. "Outside the front door was chaos. I was supposed to walk out into it like the thousands of others do whenever January ends. But why? Knowing what would happen as soon as I turned the dull silver handle, I wasn't willing to give up this sanctuary. After a long sigh, I did what I had always done in the basement of our dark, crumbling home and waited." Basement? Abby's house does not have a basement. "I heard the sound of broken glass as a tile floor fell apart. Struggling to stay calm, I knew what it meant. I heard the back door slam and somebody turned the lights off. And I knew it was him. I felt a tickle in my back as my heart raced in my ears." Who is this mysterious man? Like, honestly, that first quote pair, completely unrelated. That was not the kind of thing I was going for. That first quote there was supposed to be this major hyperbole about her not wanting to go to school. But this turned into like a straight up horror, like, whoa. And also, the sound of broken glass as a tile floor fell apart? Glass tiles? The only time I ever really seen glass flooring is like, when they use it deliberately so you can see like what's underneath the floor, like on a glass bottom boat or like some kind of sky thing like the Sky Tower in Auckland. But yeah, this is definitely a way different mood than I was making out with my first little thing. We'll move on to the next quote. "Fauna shook my shoulder. 'Do you know that girl?' We were headed to Bio after lunch when she turned me around. She assumed I could spare less than 5 minutes of this girl's time, who approached shyly, but like she knew me. It was probably my hair. She didn't need a name to my face with that in mind." My main character is a ginger, for context. "The mirror girl." What? This girl wasn't disfigured. She had skin tones that were blended together to give her a slightly whiter skin tone. She looked like her reflection would, which caused a certain parallels to fall between her and me. She had the same curves and unassuming styles my individualized version of Isabel had. She went... Why do they cut off again, and who the hell is Isabel? And like, I have literally zero idea where that whole mirror girl thing came out of. And that is like actually weird because I've had this story idea in my head for like probably like 4 years about like a girl who has a reflection that's an entirely different being and personality and like look and everything. and they were like venturing out into the world and stuff. So that's a little bit weird, but like just what is being said here, I have no idea how they decided that I was talking about some kind of mirror supernatural being. Why? This next quote, I had to change the name being used because the other person in this scene, the fact that they are in this scene talking with this character, with Abby, is a spoiler. So I just decided to give this character the alias of Bradley. I slammed the fork onto the bench. Okay, what the fuck happened to you, Bradley? He stared at me with concern, his fork piercing his own eggs. What? As if he didn't understand what was going on. Regardless, I was willing to rant about this. Don't you remember back in March, a year ago, when you made my life a living hell? I had to schedule mental fights in advance, because if I didn't have them, I would have made dinner alone. There were no distractions. The first time you let me back into your apartment after you left the office, I missed one of the...
Why do you keep cutting off, Talk to Transformer?
Oh my god, I don't like how he's cutting off. And it's very interesting that they think that Bradley is Abby's husband, partner, something? Making dinner alone? I mean, that's definitely the main thing here. I mean, Bradley and Abby, they're definitely, not married. If they were already married, it wouldn't have been a spoiler. And he's working in Bradley works in an office? No. Bradley is in high school. We have now got a shorter one. Already I was sweating. That wasn't the only reason I grimaced in the mirror. I'd been wearing my red bed sheets for day and night, and my sheets were bloody. Jesus Christ! I was covered in tiny cuts and bruises, and I had a sore groin. I'd been sobbing in the bathtub when I remembered I was alone there with Marcus, and sure enough, my fingers were feeling goosebumps on my forehead. Who's Marcus? What? I turned on my side, facing the wall. I looked up and saw a pain in the air above my head. Everything became blurry for a moment, and then everything cleared. I could hear voices sounding right at me, and then Marcus's voice commanding me, read it. Not exactly what I wanted to cut off. I was concerned from the moment that the red bed sheets were bloody and they'd been wearing them for like so long. What kind of murderous occult business is going on in this alternate universe of my book? And you know what, the fact that they use Marcus, that is very interesting because I used to have a character when I first wrote my book called Marcus, but he no longer exists. I got rid of him because he was useless. Rest in peace, Marcus. So it's interesting that they brought Marcus back again. Oh yeah, this is one of my favorite chapter openings. The word rang in my ears, and I'd almost slipped my mind until it came up again in a burst of cold flames. I'm a CODA? I repeated what he said. Okay, I have no idea what's up with the formatting of this one. Yeah, I put it down again. What's it? What's the it that they're talking about? Listen, nothing is worth it, he said. There are no more secrets. There have been secrets, I said, but you've got to tell me. Nothing else has told you anything, he said. Nobody cares. Nobody cares anything anymore. I glared at him. This is real. A lot of questions about this one. First off, secrets mentioned. Like, secrets is like a whole huge theme and thing around it. Okay, second, what is it? What is the it that's being put down? What was Abby holding earlier? Third, nobody has told you anything. Nobody cares. That is really, really depressing. Oh my god, this is very, very interesting. Bradley fumbled with the back door's lock as he shut it behind us. I don't know what the fuck you did, but that was amazing. Oh god, no, not another formatting thing. Bradley, I've been waiting for you. His eyes split. Split? Like, oh? I can hear you two standing together here, and I can hear your voices. What did you do? Please, I'm begging you, open the damn door. I'm not the murderer you think I am. What? Bradley's a murderer? You think I don't know that? We've spent all... And it's cut off. Yeah, I don't want to talk about that one because the formatting is making that more confusing than it needs to be. I don't like the lack of dialogue tags or actions surrounding the dialogue and how it is not formatted correctly. I don't even know what's going on. Rocco sat across from me at our dining room table. We chewed through toast. his smothered with Marmite and mine heaped with peanut butter. From the corner of my eyes, he kept glancing at me as I skimmed the details of a history assignment. This one's going to be interesting because this is a very generic piece of dialogue, so I have no idea how it's going to take it. And my eyes didn't just glance at him, they crossed. Ooh, I like that line. We had met earlier that day at an election rally organized by the party of Fianna Fáil leader Michael Martin. Where did this political term come from? Like the Legion of Gulliver, Rocco was a bird of the flightless species. Excuse me, Rocco's a human being. I had invited him because Martin, then chairman of the later party, was explaining why Martin felt that fine gal had developed a perverse affection for his party. Oh, God. Ugh, this is just utterly confusing. How did they get elections out of this? And why did the AI think that Rocco was some kind of flightless bird species? Like, is he a kangaroo or something? I don't want to know. Okay, this next one. This one is a fight scene. I love my fight scenes. I want to see where it takes it. I hoisted my Zyphus up, ready to strike into his shoulder. He seized my wrists as the blade came down and loomed a foot away from him. We shook against each other. I was barely content with not gaining on each other. I could taste the blood that would drop out of the next cut I could make. A roar rose out of my lungs and I pushed forward. My blade nudged his shirt and I felt it pierce through the cotton and prick his skin. Deeper, I commanded. Deeper. Why is that so short? Okay, I'm gonna try it again because I'm pretty sure it'll be able to make something longer. And short again. My blade hit him and I heard his flesh slosh inside the dark feathers. What? It's another kangaroo! Why is TalkToTransformer.com obsessed with kangaroos? And I pushed my weapon deeper. Pain from the strangulation boded well for the flesh. Let the evil. And it's cut off again. Kangaroos and cutting off. That's gonna be the title of this video. I mean, minus the fact that he's a kangaroo, pretty good addition if it's barely anything at all. Does that mean I did a good job? Alright, this is the last one. This is a chapter ending. I really want to include this, but I was the one who got hit. It felt like a punch in the stomach, then a pull around my waist, finishing with a tackle that brought me off of my feet. I reached out for something, anything, anyone, but Rocco was nowhere near me. There was nothing to grab onto, and behind me was the bite of the concrete. My head was the last to hit the ground, and the sky was the first thing I saw. I didn't know if I was falling or if I was going to hit the street. They're not mutually exclusive. There was no way of telling as I was staring up at the sky. There wasn't a sound except the howl of the wind. The blood was still hot in my ears. I don't remember the cut-offs. I mean, interesting way to put it, considering that sentence that it's tacking onto was how the chapter's supposed to finish. Very mediocre, considering it had that whole, thing where it was like saying that falling and hitting the street were two separate things. They're not. They come in conjunction with each other. You're not gonna have either or. You're most likely gonna have both. Alright, so that was me trying that out. Probably not gonna do it again because my brain kinda hurts. What was your favorite or most funny result that came out of this? Let me know down in the comments. And what do you think of this obsession with kangaroos that Talk to Transformer has? I hope you enjoyed watching that video. Don't forget to check me out on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and my blog so you can follow more of my creative content. And I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. Bye everybody!